Fantastic. Hi, everyone. I'm Shauna Mahler, secondary math TOSA for the district, and this is Elizabeth, my co-host.
Hi, guys. I'm Elizabeth Salazar. I'm the science TOSA for K-12.
So Elizabeth's going to go ahead and monitor the chat if you have any questions or if you want to raise your hand. We're just going to jump right into it and play today. So I'm excited about digitizing your worksheets because I'm going to kind of guide you through using Desmos in the most practical way possible. So I'm just going to jump right in and share my screen and get going on this. I'm curious, in the chat, can you go ahead and tell me if you've used Desmos before? Oh, sorry, we're jumping in too fast. Can you write your first and your last name in the chat and what site you're from, if you would, please? Whether or not you've used Desmos before.
I don't think chat's an option.
Oh, no.
Huh, that's very interesting, Shauna. It's not an option.
And you know why it's not an option is because I had to change all of my settings for the math lab that we started yesterday. And so it changed the settings for this.
Well, we can just do it verbally.
Perfect. We don't have too many. Let's just do that.
Not a problem. Let's start. How about I just call people out based on my screen and just tell us where you're from and if you've ever used Desmos before. So the first one I have says Stansberry.
I have not. I've been doing the clip thing where you make a box and clip it out, that one. Clip
Awesome.
tool? Yeah, clip tool. But I've not used what you're talking about.
Very cool. And what side are you from?
I'm from Sycamore, 4th grade.
Awesome. And then I have Vanessa Lopez next.
Yes, I'm from Pepper Tree, and no, I have not used it. I've been going to the cloud and converting it to a JPEG and then putting that JPEG into Google Slides and then adding in text boxes.
You guys are so resourceful. Alexis.
1st grade long-term at Cabrillo, and I haven't used Desmos. I use a MacBook and I take screenshots and then convert them to PDFs.
Awesome. Deborah.
I'm from Upland High and I haven't used this.
Welcome. Deborah, what department are you in?
I'm actually an instructional aide, got the invitation and it looked interesting to me, so I would like to see if I could help my teachers with that resource.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Thank you so much. You're the best. Kajal. I'll come back to Kajal. Vanessa Cabrera.
Hi, yes, I am speech therapist at Sycamore Elementary, and I don't have any experience with this tool.
Awesome. Welcome. Brenda. I see you're unmuted, Brenda, but we can't hear you. You can't hear her, right, Shauna? Let's move to Lisa Yoshimura.
I am Lisa. I am at Baldy View Elementary, 3rd grade, and I have not used the program.
Awesome. Welcome. Kajal, are you there?
That's okay.
Okay. And then Brenda too. We can't hear you, Brenda. I'm not sure why. But just pop in later and we'll see maybe if it works.
Fantastic. So I'm even more excited because nobody's seen or used Desmos. So this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just going to jump right into, go to teacher.desmos.com. And since we don't have the chat going, please, 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 just if you need to interrupt me, we'll stop and pause maybe if I don't remember, Elizabeth, to just remind me that everybody.
Yep.
5 or 10 minutes, stop and pause and ask.
Sure thing.
All right, so teacher.desmos.com takes to something like this. And I'm always automatically signed in, but if you need to sign in, you would just go up here and sign in using your email from the school, from your site, I should say. The first thing I want to do is once you do sign in fact, if there's some of you that are using a computer or using 2 computers or doing side by side, I'm just going to give you a second to be able to sign in so you can follow along with me if you'd like to. So the first thing I want to look at as you sign in is if I go over here to this right side of my name and click that, I can learn Desmos, all kinds of videos in here, next steps, getting started in building an activity, which is what we're going to do today. All kinds of things in here, different video tutorials on how to develop lessons, but I'm going to go as basic as possible today, just to show you how you can quickly turn a worksheet into something that's digital for your students. So I'm just going to go back and back one more time. Sorry, this took me into a new browser. There we go. I'm going to go into Desmos Labs for as you start manipulating different activities and getting a little bit more proficient in using Desmos, some of these features need to be enabled. I would just go ahead and click on all of them. That way that they're enabled for you automatically.
I'm sorry, where was Desmos Labs?
Desmos Labs is, if you go to the right of your name once you sign in, it's right here, Desmos Labs. There's account settings in here as well. Not too much in here. Managing co-teachers, that's new. Didn't even know that existed.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, so all kinds of activities already made for you. We're going to come back and look at some of these starter screens, some of these different activities. But for today's purpose, today is just taking a worksheet that you have and turning it into a Desmos.
Shauna, it's Jeannie Stansberry. My partner wants to join in. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
I just sent her a text, so she's probably not there yet, but she's going to join.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So I'm going to go ahead and go to right here on this left-hand side. You've got your most popular activities. You've got all these featured collections down here. But I'm going to go to custom because I'm going to create an activity. So these are all the activities that I have in here that I've created or borrowed or manipulated, but I want to create my own activity. You got that, Elizabeth? Let me go down here and just make sure that I don't have anybody in the waiting room. All right, we're good. Okay, so I'm going to come up here and I'm going to start a new activity. So this is going to be playing with Desmos. All right, so this is how a blank Desmos activity looks. You have over here on the left, these are your screens. So I only have one screen right now. I can add a title to my screen. And there's all these different options, but I think the best way to show you how to use it is just to get in and play with it. So I am gonna go into clever.com and mine says HRW or HMH. Yours probably says Go Math if you're in elementary. There's only a couple of you in high school here. And sign in. Now you don't have to use math, but of course I'm always in my, my math lens. So you can use Desmos for any type of worksheet. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's just stick with 6th grade. And I'm gonna go into, let's see. I'm looking for the student edition. There we go. Let's get into the student edition. We'll just hop right into module 1. Okay, so I'm a Teach 6th grade teacher, and I wanna, instead of doing this problem straight from the book, we're in 1-1 integers. Fantastic. Where are my, there we go, guided practice. Let's turn this guided practice into a worksheet on Desmos. So crazy enough, now not all PDFs can do this. Sometimes you're just gonna have to type things in, but some of them you can just highlight and copy, Control-C. I go back to my Desmos, and there's my title right there. So I want students to be able to graph and label the following points on a number line. Go back here. These are the numbers that I want them to do. Oh, my cats are fighting. Okay, so all these options. So this is my title here. These are my different options. I can put a graph in. I can ask them to sketch. I should probably say, as you're adding in these different activities that you can have them do. So here's my graph. That's one activity. If I put sketch in there as well, see how it splits my screen? So I've got a graph and I've got a sketch. Or I can get rid of my graph and I just have my sketch. I can put in media, or I can put a video in here. I can add a note to it over here and tell my students that I want them to watch the video and then write a reflection on it. I can ask for student input. I can ask them to put it in text, just regular text, or I can switch it over where they actually, it has math symbols to it. That's my geometry option, but depending on what I have in here, gives me different types of more. There's card sorts, there's marble slides, all kinds of stuff. But for this one, so since my directions are graph and label the following points on the number line, I want to tell them what to graph. So I'm going to put in a note and I'm going to Control-V or paste exactly what was on that. I'm going to put some spacing in here just so it looks a little bit better. All right, so A, they're gonna graph -2, 9, -8, -9, 5, and 8. So if I go back here, now they need a number line. So just like a lot of you had mentioned that you've been doing screenshots, I'm gonna do a screenshot of this number line. Go back to my activity. So if I have that number line and it's a screenshot, I want the students to be able to actually get to write on that number line. So I'm going to use my sketch tool.
Can you only do a screenshot on your Mac?
Can I only do a screenshot on my Mac? You would use the snipping tool on a PC. On my Mac, a screenshot is done with Shift-Command-4.
And then on the PC, the snipping tool is just an app you have to search for. If you need help with that, let us know.
There is a shortcut for that, Elizabeth. I have it written down somewhere. I'm going to find it. It's
Awesome.
the Windows. Let me find it. There is a shortcut.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Love ya.
Okay, so in my sketch tool here, I have different backgrounds I can have. I can have a blank background, which is there right now. I can have an editable graph, or I can have a custom image. So with my custom image, I'm gonna pick that one. and go to my most recent screenshot and put that in there. So now if I want to see what this looks like for students, I would go to preview, and that's what it looks like. They have all these different options. That's just their pencil. They can change the color of their pencil if they want, and they could go ahead and write on the number line. Pretty cool, right?
Sean, is there an option to do dots? Is there a shapes option or no?
There is not a shapes option.
Just curious.
There's a line option. They can draw a line if they wanted to, and then they can erase it.
Okay, the shortcut for the snip tool, Elizabeth and Shauna, is the little Windows key plus Shift and S. So if you do all three at the same time, you'll get the snip tool. You have to grab it quick. That's what I've learned.
Windows, Shift, and what?
The S.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Love it. Okay, so that's my first screen. Well, let's go back and see what else we can play with in here. What if I like this one. What if I want to just, I want to grab all 6 of these. Actually, I would probably just do all of these right here. Or what if I want to do another set of these? Let me show you that first. So this is my first screen here. If I really like this and I want to just do like maybe number 2 is going to be the same thing and I just want to make my life easier, these 3 dots over here on the screen, I can duplicate this screen. And then I would just say, okay, so I'm on this one. And so my second problem, maybe I want to just change these numbers up a little bit. So there's screen number 1, screen number 2. Let's do new screen. And maybe put a note in here. I'm just going to turn this off because this is just going to keep going. Sorry, I'm going to get rid of my note. Go back to my sketch, go to my background, put in my custom image, my most recent screenshot. Whoops, wrong one. Here we go. All right, so what can we do with this one? Let's see. Graph the opposite of the numbers shown on each number line. Let's say I'd like them to maybe watch a video about opposites. Inverses, I said opposites. There we go. There's a activity. That tutor guy, only 1 minute and 20 seconds, perfect.
Tired of scrounging YouTube for math help? ThatTutorGuy.com has videos covering everything from pre-algebra to calculus, chemistry, and physics, all taught by a Stanford-educated tutor with 10 years experience making hard classes easy. Because I'm a tutor, not a teacher.
Cancel that. I should just be able to, this is different. I should just be able to drag that or insert that video here. I'm not understanding why I can't do that. Okay, let's come back to that. So maybe I want to ask input from my students. So if, so I would say, let's put a note in here as well. So I could say, please think about questions 2 through 4 and share your ideas with the class. So down here, so what you've done is you've provided the sketch, they could write on it. Then you've put in a note here of what you want them to do. And then down here, you've put in where they can actually answer those questions. And this is an option of showing students responses or not showing responses.
Is there an option to put like a drag and drop feature over the worksheet so that if there was like pictures of shapes and lines, they could drag the words onto them?
There is not an option to do that. So the only thing that they can actually do is just draw on it, unfortunately.
So like the same thing, box and whiskers, you have a number line. I could provide them with a number line, but there's no way they're going to be able to put that box and whiskers other than manually draw it themselves.
Yes. Let's see. There's another question. Again, you could be putting all of these in. I could even, the great thing about Desmos is that you can get ideas and share different screens. So I could go into open another tab. And let's say I want to go to these starter screens here. Ooh, this is new right here. This is a collection of some of Desmos team's favorite screens. Let's look at that. Ooh, kind of cool, but not exactly what we would use for this activity. Let's do a starter screen for a check-in for when they first come in and ask them how they're feeling today. So this is just, there's 7 different screens here. I like this first one though. So they can drag and make, what would you call that, a robot look different. Down here, it tells you little optional customizations that you can do or any type of notes that you can do. And right here is a copy this screen. So I'm going to copy it, go back to my other activity, paste it in there by just hitting Control V. And then I can take this screen and I can move it to the front if I want to. So that, so we've basically built an activity. We've got 4 screens. I'm going to go to next. And so now I can put a description in here. I can make it private for just me, or I can grab a link to it so that anybody, I normally keep it on this option that anyone with the link can view, because then you can share it with your colleagues. You can add an image for the activity and then go ahead and publish it. So now that it's published, you can see it was created by me. I can create a class code. Well, let's look at these options up here. I can add it to my different collections. I've created collections, which is an option over here that you can create collections. So I have an Algebra 1 collection. Here, I can add a new collection. These 3 dots over here, I can edit my activity. I can share my activity, or I can copy and edit it, which means it would make a copy of this playing with Desmos, and then I could maneuver it and change it. Or I can delete my activity. So sharing my activity is sharing it with my colleagues, but actually giving this activity to my students can be done by creating a class code right here. So when I create this class code, has its own unique code. It tells me how many students are in there, and I'll show you on the other end what that looks like when I'll go into an activity that my students have been in before. It tells me when I created it, and also you guys are in my window here. So I can view my dashboard. If I click on these 3 dots, I can get my student link. So I would just copy this link right here. Most of us these days are using Classroom, so I'll go into Classroom. And I love what it looks like when you put it in Classroom. It's super cute. Here's my distance learning classroom. And create an assignment. Desmos demo. Add a link. Paste my link in there. And assign it. So if I look at my stream, it looks like this. And if you click on it, they don't even need to put the class code in. It's already in there. They join it. And it looks like this. So right here, it says, wait here for 3 of your classmates' responses or go on whenever you're ready. So once there's 3 students that have answered, it will start showing the students' answers there. Unless when you were building it, you didn't want them to share their answers. All right, so let's show you what it looks like once you actually have students that have used it. Any questions so far? How are we doing on time? 9:30.
9:30.
Okay, so custom shows me all of my activities that I've built. But under history, it shows me the activities that I've assigned. So it shows me all of my class codes down here. These are inactive just because it's from too long ago, but I could reactivate them if I wanted to. Let's see. Let's look at this one. Has 25 students, comparing parent graphs. So this is also what your dashboard would look like if you were doing this in real time with your students. So it starts off with a summary. So this is looking at all of my students here. If I hover over these 3 dots, I can actually see what they logged in with. I can hide the student if I want to. Each one of these dots represents that a student has put in a response. Here are my different screens that I had for this activity. I can look at those screens. As you can see, as soon as I clicked on one of them, it switched me over to teacher mode. So as I'm looking at that screen, I can see that Nathan, Cruz, Alan, and Soraya, looks like, all answered with this question. Looks like this one was a multiple choice. This is an overlay, so I'm looking at everybody. No responses for that. So what else can I show you about this? So I can scroll through here and look and see that this student here did not put in anything, wasn't even signed. It looks like they were in and then they were out. What's super cool is I can anonymize it if I want to. So then it changes all of the names to be mathematicians or scientists, I think. I can change it to my 25 students, the time that they enter. I can sort by their name, I can shuffle them, or it goes by the time that they entered into the Desmos activity. If I was doing this live with my students, I can paste them. So I can put them just on screens 1, 2, 3, restrict to screens 1. I can restrict it to screen 3. I can move it through the screens if I want to. Sorry, I didn't do a very good job of that. So I can restrict them to 2 screens if I want. I can stop them, edit them, add another screen. It's really, really cool. I can also, if the students were working on this activity and I wanted to take a snapshot, I could take snapshots of what their answers are. So I could take a snapshot of that one. Shows me that I took a snapshot. Up here, it tells me I have 4 snapshots because I already had 2. So I can go and show different examples of students. This is one of my favorite features here. I can add a photo. So if I was going around and like looking at students doing work on a whiteboard and I wanted to use somebody's work, I could take a snapshot with my phone and then add it into the presentation and then share it with the class. So super cool. Then I can, if I'm displaying this for students and I want to go back and look at the student view, this is the student view here. Okay, so any questions? Kind of showing you a lot and just giving you an idea of how you can use this to just take a boring worksheet and turn it into something that students can interact with. It's also in real time. So we used to do this with give student, make a worksheet, give it to for a sub lesson, and then be at the district office and actually get on Desmos and see students working in real time. So kind of cool. Anything else for us? So I think we're good. So how are we gonna share our plus delta, Elizabeth? What's our idea for that?
I say put the link up to the Google Classroom, the join code, in case there's people who haven't, because then they can access it from there. So just show them in the stream where it is.
Okay, so let's go ahead and, so in classes, you can add a class or join a class by hitting that plus button, and this distance learning class code is that there if you want to write it down, if you want to take the time. Sorry, I'm just checking. So if you want to take the time to fill out a plus delta for us, which we appreciate, you can go ahead and join our distance learning secondary. There's lots of different resources in here. Things on choice board links. If you, these are all templates in there for you. All kinds of fun stuff. Other Desmos things that we've shown. Video lessons, puzzle stuff, all kinds of fun stuff. But the plus delta, let me just move the plus delta to the top in the stream.
It's embedded for some reason in the up above in the last Pear Deck, I think, or Desmos. I saw it embedded up toward the top.
Oh, thank you.
Keep going. Right there. It's embedded in Pear Deck.
Awesome. Or we might as well just add it at the top, right?
Yeah.
think I'll put in as a link. All right, there we go. All right, thanks everybody. Have a, are there any other questions? Fantastic. All right, well, then I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, you guys.